welcome to another Dax Leone Shawnee Athletics Coaches Show right here at Hardesty's, where of course the meat is great and the people are even better. Dax, it's been an exciting time coming out of the holidays.
Yep.
Good times over at Shawnee High School.
Yeah, we are. We're right in the middle, right in the thick of it. Basketball season, wrestling season, swimming. All of our spring sports are full-fledged in practice. So, yeah, it's a lot. We're busy. Julie and I are busier than we've ever been, and we love it. And, yeah, we're excited. Can't wait to talk about the basketball programs today.
But before we go there, last show we had wrestling, and I want to again emphasize what a great example of the work that's been put in by the district and by the parents and the wrestling program over there at Shawnee Middle School. It makes me emotional when I go over there and I watch a wrestling match.
Oh, yeah, no.
That place looks great.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Coach McCune and the whole wrestling community, just unbelievable. And I will say we want to give our condolences to the Stucker family. I saw, Miss Stucker passed away, and I know all of our coaches, Coach McCune, Coach James, Coach Chambliss, I know Coach Henry. They had a great celebration of her life and what she meant to Shawnee wrestling and her husband. So condolences to the Stucker family, and obviously that Stucker name and wrestling go hand in hand here in Shawnee, and just what a great ambassador to Shawnee Athletics and Shawnee wrestling. And so just want to give a shout out to that family and let them know that we're thinking about them.
Well, as we transition into basketball.
Yep.
We're midway through. As athletic director, you're watching your teams. How do you feel about what's going on at all levels? Because I don't know that many people know, but this young man is very busy. He's from middle school, really elementary school, all the way up. I want to hear it from you, Dax. How do you feel about where our basketball programs are throughout
all the way
the
down.
district?
Yeah. Well, I also want to, Julia Holland is right there, right by my side, and probably ahead of me on some things. She does a tremendous job, and I probably don't give her enough praise. She's kind of behind the scenes. I'm a little bit more out in front of the scenes, but she is the glue behind the programs. And so both of us have been, every night of the week we're in a gym or somewhere. But yeah, all of our basketball programs have done well. I know our 8th grade boys, 10-1. I know our 8th grade girls, 7-3. Our 7th grade has kind of struggled a little bit. We're a little bit inexperienced in some areas. Our numbers aren't great because we got a lot of kids going to wrestling and some other sports as well. But all of our middle school programs had a great year. They got their conference tournament coming up here in a couple of weeks, so we're moving on that. Obviously, middle school wrestling's in the thick of their thing too. But then high school basketball, and I think we'll talk with our coaches today about it. I don't think any of us knew what to expect this year with our high school basketball, except we were going to be very young. And sometimes with youth, you get a lot of good and you get a lot of bad. And I think we've seen a little bit of inconsistency with both programs. But I know Coach Wells and I know Coach L as well want to be playing their best basketball at the end of the year. So I think all of them, both programs are battle tested. We played a really tough schedule. Our district is one of the toughest in the state, and our tournaments that we're playing, not to mention our own that's coming up. We're going to be battle tested. And with youth, sometimes you just got to get out there and learn the hard way. And I do think that where we started and where we're at today, I think we're making some big strides. And I think just to continue on what these coaches are doing in practice, I feel like our best basketball is still ahead of us.
Well, I say it often, I'm privileged to be able to do what I do. And our next guest is one that I'm privileged to sit next to. It has been a program that has been consistently throughout the years the funnest for me to watch, because I always see growth that this coach is able to pull forth from her kids from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. We'll be welcoming Coach Wendy Wells when we come back right after these messages from Hardesty's, where
the food is great and the people are even better.
First thing is, according to ACO, Melissa Dennis and myself are the first 2 female commissioners to ever serve in the same county at the same time.
what else do we have to be proud of?
Believe it or not, our roads are very, very well maintained. We have some great employees. If you think that I'm not speaking the truth, just drive other counties in the state and you're going to realize, okay, we're not so bad.
At McElroy and Owens Funeral Group, your loved one never leaves our care. From your first phone call at the time of loss through final resting, we are with you. Stop by McElroy and Owens for a visit today. L's Jewelry on Kickapoo. A wide selection of beautiful jewelry in their wonderful showroom waiting for you to shop for the holidays. L's Jewelry, Shawnee's friendly jeweler.
We are back at Hardesty's Dax, and now we've got one of the best ever women's coaches for Shawnee High School.
Yeah, it's a privilege to be here with Coach Wells, and excited about her season. We've been playing well. We got a young team, and yeah, you said it. She's at the top of the list, so she keeps us on our toes, keeps us in line. So,
well, I walk in to her presence, and Wendy, you've got a quiet strength about you. And a lot of people don't know that you're a world champion with the LA Sparks in the WNBA. You were the best the best high school basketball player in the state when you were a high school basketball. That was named by all of the coaches. You do a great job. First of all, let me just tell you, I'm very impressed and I'm very thankful that you're with us. But each year, what I like to watch about your teams, and I want to ask you about this, is that, you know, a lot of times you've got young players like you do this year, and I see some things in the first semester, but then when you hit it in the second semester, it seems like everybody's on the same page. What is it that you're feeding into these kids throughout the first semester to help them really come into the second semester when it's really money time to play great basketball?
Well, we are really young, and so we spend a lot of time talking about details of the game. You know, we do have, you know, not just our middle school, but, you know, we have kids come in from the dependent school. So we have to take everything back and we have to break everything down. We talk a lot about terminology, and we spend a lot of time on basics of the game. I think a lot of coaches have gone away from, you know, like just teaching like angles and how to handle the ball without, you know, turning the ball over, and where should I post up, and so like how do I get open. So we spend a lot of time on like the basics over and over, probably to the point that they're tired of hearing about it. But I also don't put so much emphasis on wins in December because I think you can get so caught up in winning that you forget how to actually play the game. And so we talk more about, I don't care about whether we win right now, it's can we continue to get better? Because, you know, we all know it only matters in the end of February and March. So.
Yeah, no, that's right. I think it's a recipe for success, playing your best basketball at the end of the year. And what I like, and just ask you about this, Coach, and I mean, Daniel talked about your accolades as a player and how that's transpired over to your coaching, but you know, your practices, to me, you make your practices harder than the game, because during the game you're pretty calm. I've seen you in practice, you're not so calm. And so talk about a little bit about it. Is that something you've always done? Is it something you learned somewhere along the way where, you know, you make practices hard where the game becomes easier for them?
Yeah, you know, when I was playing in college, you know, I played for Gary Blair, who's a Hall of Famer. I played for Vic Schaefer, who's now the head coach at the University of Texas. And then when I was in the WNBA, I played for Michael Cooper. So those practices were really hard. Sometimes they were traumatizing, where you were almost in tears. But one of the things they always talked about is it's not personal. Okay, when we're on the floor, it's business, it's not personal. So we work really, really hard, because if they're going to break down and they're going to cry in situations, I want them breaking down in that space with us. Right. And so, because, you know, as a family, we're not going to make fun of someone. You're able to pat them on the back, but we don't want them to get in that stressful situation, that traumatizing situation in a game, and have that breakdown in front of all their family, their friends, because that's something that you don't sometimes recover from. And so, like, we try and push practice and be so loud in practice that it's just very nerve-wracking. So when the games do happen, hopefully they're just kind of prepared. It's like, oh, it's really not that big a deal.
Yeah, it slows down for them. Great.
In the last game that I witnessed with Carl Albert, Wendy, it was so typical in the sense of we did not score for the first 7 minutes of the game. 1 minute left in the game, I think we hit our first basket. And normally a team would be down 20-0, you know, or even worse. I mean, that would be like catastrophic. For you, though, it was just like every day. I think they only had 4 by that time. And so often I am impressed by how few points the opponent scores on your teams in a quarter. And that was just a perfect example for me. Talk a little bit about how you instill that, and why do teams have trouble scoring against a Wendy Wells coach team?
We play I guess, more of an untypical defense nowadays. A lot of people, when they are playing man, they get out and they chase a lot. They don't really play to the ball. A lot of teams now have kind of gone to a zone, so you're kind of just hoping that people don't make shots. We play more of what you call like a pack line defense. And so we're going to pack it in, and we preach a lot of staying in gaps. And so making people have to score over the top of you. A lot of kids aren't great jump shooters anymore. And so we want them to have to shoot over the top of us. We are small, so we do get out. We do put a lot of pressure on ball handlers, but we stay in gaps. So when they do try and attack the gaps, there is no gap. So then there's a lot of having to shoot jump shots. And then, you know, we got to rebound because we are small. We're small but feisty.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I mean, just learned something right there. I mean, I think how she explains that makes a lot of sense when you watch them play. And so just talk about your team this year. I mean, obviously we talked about your youth a little bit, which sometimes youth is a good thing because they don't know any better. But what excites you about this team, and where do you think this team can go as we move forward in our season?
The thing I'm most excited about with this group is I actually really like this group as people. Not saying I don't in general, but they're so much fun. Right. I mean, they have such great personalities. Like, we're able to all joke around and have a good time, but they're all feisty. Yeah. And so I love our energy. Yes, we are young, and at times our youth shows. And so sometimes, like, we do get down on ourselves. And so I love the energy that we play with. Like, I can get after them a little bit and say, hey, we got to get after them. And then it's like, whoa, okay, now we got to slow down. Yeah. So I love their effort. Defensively, we are able to put a lot of pressure on. We are very active. We do go a little deeper this year. Right. You know, we're going 8 or 9 deep at times, so we're able to play a lot harder. Shooting-wise, you know, we can get hot in a hurry, and so that makes it exciting as well. Right now, the sky's kind of the limit with this group.
I agree. I agree.
We're second in our district behind El Reno. We have them next week. Yep. And so, I mean, it's kind of an exciting time. Yeah,
it is. I agree with everything you just said.
It really is. And I want to mention something. And it's a senior in this class, which I think is so typical for you. And we're unable to talk with her today. But Shirley came out there, and it was the first time that I actually witnessed her in the starting lineup. Mm-hmm. But what I saw, and I was kind of wondering why, you know, and then I saw her play, and she just so energetic, and she dominated on the boards when she was in there, especially early on. How does having a player like that as a senior coming in, and I mean, honestly, it looked like she didn't have a lot of experience, but she had all the tenacity in the world.
Yeah, this is her first year to play in the last few years. So yes, there is a lot of inexperience there. She is very athletic, as you can see. She does have a lot of energy, but it's kind of funny at times to watch her just kind of start hollering at them, "What are you doing?" And so, like, she does play with a lot of energy. So that kind of goes back to our other leaders, though, like Daley and Ty. Like, you'll talk to them today, because she doesn't have that experience. They're able to kind of like keep her calm. Hey, you got great energy. She's super athletic. She can guard inside. She can guard outside, and just rebound. And I think that's the biggest thing is, like, I've told her I only need like 2 things out of you. I need rebounds, and I need great energy guarding on the perimeter. And she's like, that's it? And I'm like, that's it. Pass the ball to Daley and Ty.
That's good coaching right there. That's right.
Yeah, you know how important it is to have players like that. And in our hallways, we've got a bunch of kids just like that.
Yeah, no, it's really neat to see stories like that. And we talk about it all the time, seeing these kids on a daily basis. But I think the culture, and I know that's kind of an overused word in sports, but I think that's a really good word for Wendy's program. I mean, you can go down the hallway and look at all the players that she sent on, but more importantly, you can see the way they come back and how much respect they have for her. And even talking to Ty and Daley before the show just a little bit. I mean, she has that presence, and I think it's going to last a lot longer than the basketball court. You know what I mean? Yes. It's going to go on to these kids' lives. So, hey, last question for me, Coach. we got a big tournament coming up next week, Shawnee Invitational, one of the top tournaments in the state. So tell the fans and tell the community a little bit about our tournament.
So starting on Thursday, we have the Shawnee Shootout, and we open up at 10 a.m. versus Harding Charter. It is going to be a very tough tournament. You know, we have some highly ranked teams. El Reno is on the other side. They're currently undefeated, so they're the 1 seed. Coweta is ranked, I think, like 2nd in their district up in Tulsa, so they're coming in. They'll play Ardmore.
Yep.
We have Harding Charter, and then later on, Yukon will be coming. So it's going to be a tough 3 days.
Yeah.
And that's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, right around the 19th, 20th, and 21st. I might be off a little bit on those dates. But then on the 26th as well, I want to let people know that Coach Wells is going to be inducted into our community's Shawnee High School Basketball Hall of Fame, and we'd love to come out and get support for a well-deserved honor for Coach Wells. Thank you very much for tonight, and it's always great to sit and to learn from you, because that's what's going to happen when we talk basketball with Coach Wendy Wells. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Yep.
We'll be back with the players right here at Hardesties, where the meat is great and the people are even better, right after these messages.
Harrison Discount Pharmacy is concerned about our overall well-being. The Labyrinth on St. Gregory's Abbey grounds. If you're stressed, a walk in the Labyrinth may help you feel better. Harrison Discount Pharmacy, a good neighbor pharmacy. Do you want an easy car buying experience? Castor Keys on Harrison. No hidden fees, no price gimmicks. Castor Key Auto Mart for a fair and convenient car buying experience.
I want to be able to introduce them to who their elected officials are. Everybody knows you've got a sheriff. Everyone knows. But no one knows what a county clerk is. No one knows what a treasurer is. No one knows what the assessor is. Or, in this case, we've learned a lot of people don't know what the county commissioners do. So I would like for them to start at the elected official and then just go from there.
We are back at Hardesties, where the food is great and the people are even better. And Dax, we've got two of the best right here. We have Daley Rice and we have Thurman. Ty, first of all, senior on the squad, definite leader, 4-year starter. What do you like most about this year's squad?
I really like how competitive we are and how young we are. So if we go out there, they don't really know what to expect. So they're just playing as hard as they can. I think that's really fun.
Well, Daley, when you have somebody like Ty in front of you, you came in as a starter last year. Your talent was obvious when you first started on the floor. But here in the second semester already, I've seen how you've matured just in the last year and a half. Talk a little bit about what you've learned under the system of Coach Wendy Wells.
How to control what I do and how to be under control and keep my composure when I don't do something right.
Well, she got the ball in her hand a lot.
Yeah.
I'll just go ahead and stay with her because she's got the mic. So I know you and Ty, what I like, and people don't see this, but you guys are really good friends as well. So
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about Ty, not just the basketball player, but about your friend right here.
She's a
Keep it clean. It's a family show. Come on. No, I'm just kidding.
she's a really good friend. She's a really good leader to
Yeah.
people and helps me with a lot of things. Keep my composure on the court. She makes jokes at me when I'm mad. Makes me laugh. Helps others understand the pressure.
Yeah. Well, I'll go ahead, Ty. So talk about your friend Daley. Obviously, we know her basketball ability and her softball ability, but talk about Daley Rice, the person, your friend.
Daley's really, I would say, really calm. She keeps her composure really well. So under pressure, she's working. She's really calm.
She's funny.
She's pretty funny.
She's funny.
In her own way, she's pretty funny.
Well, and what I like and what I've noticed already too is about the strength of Daley Rice. Daley is able to look you in the eye. She's able to tell you her opinions, and I love that about a young person. And that shows a lot about family. And Ty, that's one thing I'd like for you to talk a little bit about. I've known your family for a little bit, just from the peripheral, but I've been able to watch them and their children and how you guys operate, you and your extended family. Talk a little bit about your family and how important they are and the influences from your family that you have that have made you who you are today.
Okay, so my mom and dad really pushed me to be the best that I can be the best leader that I can be, and to always lead by example. So I would say they've been the biggest part to why or how I am today. We're also Native American, so we travel to powwows a lot out of state. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
How important is that to you, your Native American history?
It's really important. I always try and keep my history alive by dancing at powwows and continuing to keep that tradition.
Well, let me tell you, their family is very talented at that. They do a lot of it. Your brother, I mentioned that before. I'm so impressed. I didn't realize that you did a lot of dancing as well. I look forward to maybe talking with you guys later. How about you, Daley? Talk a little bit about the family influence that you've had. I know your sister came through Coach Wells' program. You were able to watch that as a young child. That may have had an influence. But what have been your greatest influences? Your parents, I know, are always up there no matter what you kids are doing.
Yeah, my parents are really big with what I do, and they always like push me to be competitive and do the best that I can. And like with my sister, I watched her growing up, so she also helped me like when I play, and she still does. She shows up, my parents show up, they just push me through everything and keep me going.
Yeah, and now we got your nephew.
Yeah.
Got the next stud coming up, little man. So last question for me, and I'll ask both of you can answer, and then Ty can answer. So I talked to Coach Wells a little bit about this team and, you know, how far can we go and all those things. And she said sky's the limit. And I see you guys every day out there practicing, and I feel the same way, especially when we're shooting and the ball's going in the hole. We're tough to beat. So where do you see this team, and how far can we go?
I think we can go very far if we keep our energy and composure through the season and keep pushing in practice, like you said, and just never give up.
Yeah. Ty?
I also agree with the energy. We always try and keep our energy up in practice, keep the practices really competitive, push each other to be better, and I think that helps a lot with our games.
Yeah, well, I said it's my last question. I'll go ahead and piggyback on that because I did talk to Coach about practice is sometimes harder than the games.
Yeah.
I know she gets after you guys in practice. I can hear her in my office sometimes. So is that something that makes you guys calm during the game because practices are so intense and she is so detail-oriented and really on you guys about being in the right spot? Does that slow the game down for you? I know as a baseball guy, it did for me.
I think it helps a lot because she tries to make it really loud.
Yeah.
Everybody's screaming around in practice. Everybody's getting after each other. And I think that really helps because in the games it's just like practice.
Right.
Yeah. And it makes it pretty easy.
Absolutely.
I'd like you guys to think about teammates right now. And this will be our final question, but I'd like you, and each of you, so Ty's got the mic, Daley. She's going to be able to mention the first two, and then I need you to mention one or two others after that. But talk a little bit about one or two of your teammates that you feel are so important to the success of your team and what their strengths are that add to the team chemistry in order to bring victories.
Okay, first I'm going to start off with Tylyn. So we call her T, but she's our point guard, starting point guard.
Just a freshman?
No, she's
a sophomore? She's a sophomore,
yeah.
Okay.
But she's still really young, but she's still learning. And I think she handles the ball for us really well. Also, I'm going to bring up Chrissy. She's a freshman, but she's putting in big minutes as just a freshman in varsity games. So, but she's still learning, still getting better. And yeah.
And what is it that that's Milam, right?
Yeah.
Do I say that right?
Chrissy Milam.
What do you think is her strength right now? I mean, coming in as a freshman, she is seeing a lot of minutes.
Yeah.
What do you think are her strengths?
I think she has some really good post moves. She'll get around. She can do crazy spin moves. Gets in there. She'll mix it up. She's pretty strong.
Yeah, she's athletic.
Yeah.
She can get up there. I mean, it surprises me she'd be standing next to somebody bigger than her, but then when she's going up for rebounds, either she's got length or she's got hops, one or the other. How about you, Daley?
I say Trinity. She brings a lot of energy to the team and just keeps us going and like helps us push. And like she helps Coach Wells. So she doesn't always have to bring the energy. Trinity can, and it brings us up. And then I would say Allison. She likes to go in there and rebound, and
Yeah.
it helps us get boards and pass it back out to set something up. She really brings a lot of like help inside.
Well, this is not an easy thing for you guys to do. We recognize that, and we thank you both for taking time in the middle of your day, and it's in the middle of your season. So thank you very much for coming out and being able to talk with us and allowing all of us to get to know you guys just a little bit better. And we're very proud of you. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, keep up the good work.
We're coming to you live from Hardesty's, where the people are great.
The food is great, and the people are even better.
Very
We'll be right back with Coach L.
For 25 years, Eric's has served you and your family for all your prescription needs. Eric and his staff love the community and love seeing you in the store conveniently located on North Kickapoo. Make your day brighter by visiting Eric's today. Sonic Drive-In originated in Shawnee, serving great food fast to your family. Drive up, order, and eat in your car. Now, more than 3,500 stores worldwide, it's Sonic Good at our local Sonics.
Okay, we're back at Hardesty's. Daniel, I'm going to go ahead and take this one. So we're here with Coach Eric Litherland. Coach, appreciate you coming down. Get a little chicken and dumplings today at Hardesty's.
It's a classic.
It's a
good one.
It's good, man. So I'll just kind of start. I know our season, we're kind of right in the middle of it. We're 6-5, 2-3 in the district. Know we got some games coming up. Our tournament's coming up. So how do you feel the season's been so far with a really young team? Just kind of give us your synopsis so far.
We knew that it was going to be tough. We lost quite a few players from graduation, and had a really good group of seniors that played so hard. We knew we had some guys that were young coming in. They were just inexperienced. That first night against Guthrie, we only had one guy that had significant varsity minutes, and Guthrie is a tough place to open up and get baptized by fire, but they did really, really well. And I'll tell you, these guys have some really good wins, some bounce back wins. We've had some letdowns. The El Reno game was a letdown, and the McAllister game was a letdown, but you're going to have that with a young team.
Right,
I think you're going to have some lows, and we really try to preach to our kids, we win and we learn.
Yeah.
And we've learned kind of what's worked for us and some things that we need to work on. But we've shown flashes of some very, very positive things to be excited about.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when we talk about being young, Coach, and learning, what are some of the key things right now that you're trying to implement with these kids and get them to learn? Some of the things that you see, hey, we need to get better at this.
Yesterday, our practice consisted of a lot of rebounding. That's one of the areas that we've struggled with, rebounding. In the games that we have not played well, we haven't rebounded well. And then taking care of the ball. But I think for the biggest part with our guys, that's really, really important, is consistency. If you look at programs who have won a lot versus programs who are trying to learn how to win, programs who have won a lot on games they don't play well or may not rebound well, they still find ways to win. They're consistent. They are consistent, and consistent every day in practice, consistent every day in our warm-ups and our film sessions, and that's something I think that we're trying to do a better job of. Dayton's been one of my most consistent guys throughout his career.
Yeah.
He's done everything that we asked. I mean, he is our bona fide leader right now. I think on his career he's only missed one practice, and it happened to be this year due to a funeral. So really can't fault him for that. But to injury or illness, just never missed. And so I think consistency, we're trying really hard with these younger guys to be consistent in our workouts, our weights, and everything.
Yeah, and I think that word youth is we're kind of underselling how young we are. Playing a ton of freshmen, playing a ton of sophomores. Obviously, Dayton's a veteran, but he's only a junior. Sometimes youth is a good thing because they don't know any better, but youth is also, frustrating sometimes as a coach because you have to earn that experience. You have to learn. So how do you think the guys are moving forward together? I know they get along good. I see them at practice. We have some good chemistry, but you kind of mentioned a couple things, rebounding, some other things. What are some things we need to do to maybe get a little bit more consistent and where that youth will kind of not show as much? another year next year, like more games.
We're not. Honestly, these guys, we're a lot of times. I told them the other day, we played Carl Albert tough, and we got them down to like 7 with 5 minutes left, and had a lot of people like come in and be like, hey, coach, it wasn't that bad. Like, hey, you guys played tough.
Right.
And I think they want to change the narrative to where it's not a, hey, we're going for a moral victory. We're going for the victory.
Right. Yeah.
And because a lot of these guys, even in their youth, they all play competitive basketball year round. They go to win. They're not here. They're here to play against big time people, but they want to win.
Right.
And I think that like our effort, our skill set, I think we're kind of figuring out. Aiden, who's our leading scorer, didn't play last year.
Right.
He's a sophomore, but he had shoulder surgery and missed the whole year. So he's still trying to figure out, he's not a freshman, but he didn't get a chance to play a whole bunch last year. So I think these guys, as they try to figure each other out, kind of where their strengths are, we utilize film a lot. We kind of try to show them, hey, statistically, analytically, this is where you're having the most success. Let's try to get you there.
Yeah.
Let's try to get to your spots. And I think that they're getting there. I mean, I think they're trying to make, and they're learning.
Yeah.
Sometimes they make mistakes, and we got to point them out, and we got to learn from them.
Right.
Well, we talk about youth, and we're privileged to have the only senior on the squad with us today, and we get to talk with Aaron Wilson in the next segment. But when we go from that, the senior class, and we come down to the freshman class, man, witnessing your son, he's a baller. Talk a little bit about the development of those younger kids. But it seems like a few of them have been playing together maybe for a little while, and the excitement that you have for that class, the freshman and sophomore class.
Oh yeah, there's that sophomore freshman class has some very, very talented kids that have played a lot of basketball. Aiden and Zyron have played year round. They play on that circuit. I think Quentin Williams, who I think is finally going to be able to get back into the flow. He's going to be a guy that's not on anybody's scouting report, but 2 weeks from now, he's going to be on people's scouting report if he takes care of business. My son and Ramel have played year round. They play a lot, and I've got guys. I think it's a testament to their work. They put a lot of work into their craft. This is not just something that. My assistant coach called the other day 3:30 guys that come at 3:30 and then they're done in practice and never touch a ball afterwards. They spend time in training sessions and AAU games and practices before and after. It's a lot of fun to watch. I mean, because these guys, I know they have put the work in. And then there's another kid, Angel's another freshman that is a kid that I'm telling you, he works. There's not a kid that works harder in that weight room than Angel, and it's tough right now because he's trying to figure out. I mean, he kind of as a middle school kid would play post, but he's kind of had to maybe morph into more of a guard. He's transitioning a little bit, but man, that kid puts in a lot of time. And my son, he's put in a lot of time. It's fun because I've spent my whole career pouring hours into other people's kids. Now I get to kind of now when I'm at high school practice, he's there, so I'm not missing on other, sacrificing my time, my own kids. He's actually in the program now. And here in a couple of years, his youngest brother will be right behind. And so I'm excited about that. I mean, it's been fun to watch, and I think it's just a start.
Yeah, and you kind of stole my thunder. I was actually going to kind of talk about, I know you're going to undersell Eden as a player because he is a really good player, very high basketball IQ. He's a great kid. I see his work ethic. And I'm about to go through that with my son. Tal's going to be here next year. And I was kind of going to ask you that is, how cool is that? I mean, honestly, how cool? I mean, my dad coached me when I was a freshman on the freshman team. And I just remember, I'll never forget that. And now, obviously I'm not going to be able to coach Tal, but I'm going to be able to be there every day and see him in the hallways and see him at practice and stuff. But how cool is that? Not just because your son's a really good player, but the time, the bond that you're going to be able to spend with him.
Man, I really honestly, coming in this year, I didn't know how it would be at the high school.
Yeah.
I didn't know if he'd be too cool to come dab me up or if he'd be like, don't talk to me kind of type deal. But we learned early when they were doing the tour.
Yeah.
He came up and he had his friends and they all came up and I was like, all right, so we're going to be good. I have thoroughly enjoyed getting to see him in the hallways.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to do stupid stuff, but I feel like my presence there, and he knows that I'm a phone call away to be able to pull him out of the class and have a come to Jesus meeting if need be. But I've really enjoyed. He's wearing the number I wore in high school.
Yeah, that's
cool. He's trying really hard. I mean, he's a lot better player than I was. He can't shoot as well as I could. That's one thing I still have on him. But
all right, Eden, that's a challenge. That's a challenge, Eden.
He's working on it, you know. But it is. I mean, like, but when you have that family, mentality with all our players,
sure,
to have your own kid in there in the mix, it's special.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I know that he again. He's worked for everything that he's gotten. I can't make him go out there. And I mean, I think he's our leader in rebounds. He's our leader in 3-point made shots. I can't do that on the floor. He has the ability to make those plays.
Yeah.
And you know he's done. I think he's going to be a leader when it's said. But I told him, I was like, look, you got Dayton for 2 years. You know Dayton's going to be able to take a lot of pressure off you as a point guard, and you're going to be able to take some pressure off him. Yep. There's going to be some times when he's going to be able to delegate you the ball up the court. So enjoy it. You know, take it for what it's worth. You know, it's a growing process.
Yeah.
So one that I've enjoyed so far early in the process.
Yeah, for sure.
It is a special time. But so, Coach, did they have a 3-point line when you played?
Yes. Yeah, they did. They did. They had the 3-point line. We didn't have the peach buckets. You know, we didn't have the transfer portal in my day.
That's right.
But they do. But we did have the 3-point line. Yes,
so what is it, Coach, that you have to work on? Because I know your goal is to get into the tournament. It would be no less than that. What is it that's got to change? And I know you're working on it, but what is it that's got to change? What is the keys to victory for Shawnee High School boys basketball this year?
We've got to get to 100% on our roster.
Okay.
Yep.
We've had some self-inflicted things, and we have been shorthanded a lot of the year. When we have everybody that's up to speed and everybody that I have available, we can play who we want. You'll see a tremendous, I think, uptick. We got some guys who we got to get caught up to speed. Once we get that happening, that's going to be a major, major boost. Then we've got to take care of the ball. I mean, we probably have averaged a little bit more turnovers this year than we did last year. And we've had a couple games where we should not have had the turnover count that we did. The team didn't come out and press us full court. I think that we have to value the ball, and I think that the younger guys just got to understand the importance of that. And I'm not just talking about freshmen, sophomores too, and then rebounding. Our field goal percentage, we're shooting rather well, probably better than last year. Free throw there, we're kind of slumping lately, but at one point we were at 70% almost as a team. You can't ask for better than that.
Right.
Well, we can ask for better, but
we can ask for better. But normally you're gonna float around 70, and and we were there. But we're just gonna have to, get everybody on board, get our rebounding, and get our turnovers under control. And I think with experience, I mean, I wouldn't want to play us come playoff time. Because we had a goal. Last year we played 3 tournaments and we were in the last place game, all 3 games. We were 2-1. This year we've been in 2 tournaments and we've been in a championship game and we're 2-0. So a 3rd place game in a consolation championship, we're 2-0. Now our tournament's gonna be tough. But we can get there. I mean, our goal is to get 2 wins at least, and we'll attack that. But we're definitely gonna have to do those things. Hopefully, we'll have everyone up to speed by then. Then it's just a matter of rebounding and taking care of the ball.
And that's something that we can help with as a community is getting up to speed. The tournament is coming up Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. The Shawnee teams are going to play afternoon games. We're going to start at 11 with the girls. We heard that earlier, and you guys will play directly after the girls. So it's a fun environment, probably the funnest environment of the entire year for these kids playing in front of their classmates. And we want to invite you guys out there. The Shawnee tournament, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It's like the 19th, 20th, and 21st, right around there. If I was smart, Dax, I would have checked off camera.
18th, 19th, 20th. But but you're close. You're close.
So come on out, because there is no better entertainment value than high school sports. I'm telling you. That's a line I came up with myself.
That is. It's a good one. Hey, I got one more question. Okay. I got one more question for Coach, and because we had Coach Wells here as well, and talk about you and Coach Wells' relationship. Obviously, she's going into the Shawnee Basketball Hall of Fame. How cool is that? I know you guys have a really good relationship, but we all think a lot of Wendy. So just talk to the folks about Wendy just a little bit, because you're with her probably as much as anybody.
Nah, she's great. She's a Hall of Fame coach and well deserved of that.
Yep.
Anybody who has a girl There's not very many former WNBA coaches around the area or that have the state championship rings around the area. I communicate with her a lot. I know that she was frustrated. She was frustrated at the McAllister tournament. But to see her girls battle back and knock off Carlisle, I told her, hey, that was a great win. Yeah. And she's in a similar boat. She's got a lot of youth in her program. Yeah. I mean, the better days I think are ahead for her and ourselves. Right. And it's an exciting time. And she's a wealth of knowledge. I mean, my young assistant coach was watching her practice the other day, and he was like, man, I really like how she emphasized everybody on that floor has a role. Yeah. Even the girls that were on the side. And I think, like, whether she knows she has an impact like that, I mean, my young assistant coach, the Byron head coach, for him to pick up on that. And we always kind of just check each other's practices out a little bit. And she does a great job. Yeah. I mean, I always, maintains her usually better than I do sometimes, most of the times on the bench. I mean, she does a lot of coaches. She does a great job, fantastic job.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Coach, we certainly appreciate your time today. It's always fun to speak with you. You're always able to tell us stories and give us good things, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I
appreciate you guys supporting us. I really do.
Yeah.
And it's always a great time out at Hardesty's, where the food is great and the people are even better. Get on down here. You'll see some of these guys around all the time at lunchtime. $5, $6 lunches. Come on in. No better spot. We'll be back with the players right after these short messages.
For over 50 years, Fred's Tire and Battery has served Central Oklahoma with tires, batteries, and service for cars, trucks, and tractors. Friendly and affordable, with 2 locations in Shawnee. Fred's Tire and Battery, a name you can trust.
Hardesty Market in Daley, a real butcher shop for over 80 years. Daily lunch specials just like Mom used to make. Best cuts of meat and even better people. Your family at Hardesty Market in Daley.
Back at Hardesty's, where the food is great and the people are even better. And we have Aaron Wilson and Daytain Patton with us now. Coach, both of these guys have put in a lot of time over the years in the program to help the boys get nothing but better.
Yeah, no, both of them extremely hard workers, leaders. Like I said, with the girls, I see them out there every day. They're gym rats. They're in there a lot trying to get better. And, they both had a great start to the year. And hopefully keep playing our best basketball as we continue.
Yeah, a lot of fun to watch. And Aaron, I want to start with you, man. Tell us a little bit about your basketball background. I mean, obviously you love the sport. You're a senior. You're a varsity starter. But how did you get where you are today?
Well, I got here because of my parents, mostly my dad. He's been hooping all his life, and I just picked it up after him. So I just follow his footsteps, basically.
Daytain, how about you, man? Talk a little bit about your upbringing in basketball. You were a starter as a freshman. That doesn't happen very often, other than maybe like our athletic director. But that happened for you, and that shows a lot that you brought a lot to the table before you hit 9th grade. How'd you get there?
I would say it was really Coach L. Coach L trusted me since day one when he first got here. So since then, it's really just been I had the keys since Jay Boogie left. Yeah. So then ever since he left, it's just been like Coach L is just like really dependent on me to take care of the team. So yeah, that's what it's been.
And you're just a junior.
Yeah, just a junior, yeah.
Yeah, and while you have the mic, I'll just stay with you. And you kind of answered the question I was going to start into is being a leader. Like I was going to say, the ball is in your hand. You're obviously, the leader of the team on the floor. And so what is your game? What part of your game do you like? And what part of your game do you think helps your teammates?
Really just getting everybody involved, really just trying to make sure everybody's in the right place, that we're still like communicating on defense. Basically the little stuff, like I'm the coach on the court at all times.
Yeah, absolutely. So Aaron, I did this with the girls too. So talk a little bit about Daytain as a teammate and as a friend, and just kind of what kind of guy is he? Just not on the court, but off the court.
Okay. Me, a guy. He's a leader, he'll put you in your spot, tell you what to do, and just lead you correctly.
Right.
Because once you on that court, he's different.
Yeah,
Off the court,
right.
Off the court, he just lay back, chill, you know. But on the court, he'll get in your face and yell at you.
Yeah. So he's definitely a leader. So he's kind of got that switch when he goes on the court. So Dayton, tell me a little bit about Aaron. He seems pretty chill. That's what he said. He seems pretty chill to me. So I know he's obviously a really good basketball player, but talk about him as well.
He's cool, super cool. I've been knowing Aaron since we went to Sequoia together.
Nice.
So yeah, it's been cool. I've been knowing hustler on the court.
Yeah.
Every time Coach O put him in, he gonna give 110% no matter what. So yeah, super cool. Just all around good dude.
Yeah, good teammates. That's awesome.
And when we talk about teammates, Dayton, keep it right there. We have some people who aren't here today, but they're very integral to the success of our basketball team. Pick a couple that you want to talk about, that you want to point out, and Aaron, get ready because it's coming to you next.
I would say Eden Litherland, Coach L's son. Yeah, freshman. Yeah, he can go. Yeah, he can go. So yeah, him, and then Aiden. This is his first time playing varsity because last year he hurt his shoulder. So yeah, but they both they can go. So it's like they give us everything we really need, really.
Yeah. That is perfect because off camera, Daley was giving me a really hard time about her name and making sure I got her name right, and I need to. And you're talking about Aiden. Aiden's easy to say, but is it Sicarios? How do I say that?
I don't even know. Sicarios.
Okay.
I still don't know how to say it either.
That's funny, but Aiden, we'll just keep trying, bro. And anytime you want to come correct us, make sure that you do that. And you know what? I was impressed, and I'll ask you this, but I was impressed with Aiden again in the Carl Albert game. He got in early foul trouble. I think that could have been a different ball game if he was not in foul trouble. Aaron, as a senior, he's just a sophomore. Talk a little bit about that and the importance of having, your players being able to be on the court, in particular Aiden Sicarios.
Well, Aiden, he's ball dominant. 'Cause if we give him the ball, he'll go take it to the hoop. But him with the fouls trouble, it just puts all of us in risk. Because he's the leader. It's like Aiden's the second leader, and we'll give it to him. He'll go do his thing. Mm-hmm. And he also looks for all of the other players on the court and get the ball to them. So, yeah, Aiden's up there with Dan. So, being him on the floor every time, we got a higher chance than with him off the floor.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
And then there's others. Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot. Let's get a couple others out there that you want to mention important for the squad.
Isaiah Smith. Yeah. He'll go get the rebound if you tell him. Well, he's not really about offense. Well, okay. We give Isaiah a hard time about rebounds because that's all he taught. He said, I'll go get 20 rebounds. He'll come back 2 maybe. But he's a good hustler.
Well, I noticed he jumped center for you.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy. I mean, it's almost funny when you see it in the camera view. It's because he steps up there and then it's like this. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's crazy. And I noticed against Carl Albert, he actually won the tip.
Yeah.
All right, who else?
I say all of us, but
go.
Zyron. Once he get his mind right, straight, he could be good. He could be so good. Mm-hmm. And we need him on the floor because once he was playing with us, he was our highest scorer. Mm-hmm. So, who you said? Eden?
Eden, yeah.
Angel. Angel's part of the hardest worker on the team. He's always in the gym at 7 o'clock, and he'll stay there till school starts. Then after practice, he'll stay till 6:30. Uh-huh. And once he becomes senior, he'll be tough.
That's a Vidia, right?
Yeah, a Vidia.
And is he just a freshman or a sophomore?
He's a freshman.
A lot of bright future ahead for Shawnee High School basketball. Okay, Aaron, this year, right now, you're sitting 6-5, 2-3 in the district. You can't be happy with the position that you're in. What would you like to see transpire over the end of the year? And not just what would you like to see, I want you to tell us how it will happen. Meaning, what is it going to take to make it happen?
Well, we are hardworking because every practice we'll do 110%. But for us to get better is our choices off the court. Because we got a lot of young players, so their minds is, not up there yet. So once they get that down, we'll be good. So That's all I got.
Okay, so I want to follow up on that. How can you lead that as the senior on the squad? How do you lead that off the court behavior to help everybody get better?
Just checking them, putting them, telling them what to do. You know, if they're in trouble, just help them out and say, you can't do that, do this and do that. Yeah, just checking them. That's all.
Good for you. Walk alongside them.
Yeah,
Very good.
Lead by example.
How about you, Dayton? What's your thoughts on that? You're sitting 2 and 3. I know that doesn't sit well for you in the district, and that's really the record that matters right now. How do we change that for the end of the year?
For the end of the year, we have to. I feel like practices, we got to go harder. Like, we go hard in practice, but we got to go even harder if we want to beat the Guthries, the Carl Alberts, all of them, which we do get another shot at all of them.
Right.
So, yeah. We just want to be like everybody because we've been having people missing. So now we just want to, like, we're all back together. So we want to go and practice, go hard. Yeah.
And work, yeah. And I think, and they both kind of said it, but we do have a lot of youth on our team. I mean, we are very young. And I think you guys are both talking about leadership and things we can do to improve. And I will say, we play in the toughest district in the state. I mean, it's
no excuses, Coach.
I mean, I know, but it's a.
But we want to be in the toughest
absolutely.
district.
Yeah. But what I was going to say is every night is a dogfight, and you got to get out there and bring your A game every night. So I think, like Daniel said, how can we, and not just so much through practice and stuff, but execution in the game? What are some things that we're going to do to continue to get better and be playing our best basketball at the end of the year, Dayton?
Basically, in game, we would have to, like, just not, like, we're young, so
turnovers.
We have to cut the turnovers out.
Yeah.
Rebounding, we just got to be more physical with the other team instead of letting them be physical with us.
Yeah. Yeah, because we don't have a ton of size.
Yeah.
And I think Coach Wells used the word feisty. I think we kind of are the same way on the boys' side, but we are a little bit undersized. So rebounds. What about free throws?
Free throws, yes.
That was one that Daniel and I were talking about the other night. If we hit our free throws, man, we're
free throws.
You know.
I don't know. It's just been a struggle. It's been a struggle.
Because I know Coach has some penalties. I know Coach L makes you guys, you know, after you guys miss them in practice, you got some stuff to do.
Yeah,
so get those free throws in. So, last question from me, Aaron. What do you see this team going? Where do you see this team going?
Oh, it could go state easily.
Yeah. Yep.
Because we're gonna have more talented people come to the program every year.
Yep.
And you know, he's only a junior.
Yep.
And half the starters are sophomore or freshmen.
Yeah. A lot of youth.
So we got a lot of youth.
Yeah.
So next year they might be even better than this year right now.
Yeah, and you mentioned Isaiah and some of those other guys, and I mean, I see you guys at practice every day. You guys get along really good. You guys got a good team. Yeah. Your team chemistry is really good, and I think you guys sticking together and following Coach L's lead, I think our best basketball is coming. So we appreciate you guys. You guys are both doing a great job, and want you guys to keep up the good work. So we'll be back for closing here at Hardesty's Grocery, where the food is great
and the people are even better. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Action Physical Therapy supports Shawnee High School athletics. Located on Harrison. If you need physical therapy, ask for Action.
Clinic Pharmacy across from the hospital has something for you. Boutique items in Shawnee. All your pharmaceutical needs taken care of at the Clinic Pharmacy. Wow, what a show again at Hardesty's, where the food is great and the people are even better. Dax, you know, just quality individuals that you get to work with every day.
Yeah, they just never cease to amaze me. They get on this camera, they're all nervous when they get here. We talk to them and they're all nervous. They get in here and they're just cool as a cucumber. And I think that comes from just preparation. It comes from our coaches doing a great job of leading these kids, not just on the court, but off, you know, in the classroom and everything. And kids that can handle themselves like that in public and on camera, I think it says a lot about not just them as individuals, obviously their families, and also our coaches. I mean, Coach L and Coach Wells do a tremendous job. They have great culture, and I think it's great for the community to see what kind of kids we get to work with every day.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun and very informative, and you talk about the family culture.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that. You're in your second year now as AD. Talk a little bit about how important that is for you, because you've been preaching it for a while now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know any different because, you know, through the college baseball world and building programs everywhere I was at, either as a head coach or as an assistant or even as a player, teams that got along together and teams that had that family atmosphere were the ones that, had the most success. And one of my words since I got here is our brand. And, I talk about it all the time. Like you see the Jordan brand, you know what that is. And I tell our coaches all the time, I want people to see that S Wolves and know what we're about. And I feel in a year and a half, and with the help of obviously Julia and Dr. Espol and just a ton of people that probably deserve just as much credit as me, if not more, that I feel like we're building our brand. And it's really important for me as the athletic director to set a presence to our coaches that you're going to affect these kids way past high school. Coolest thing for me is when I get an invitation for a wedding for one of my former players, or they send me a Christmas card. And I think our coaches, and especially with our basketball coaches, because the show was about basketball today, I see that with our basketball coaches.
Well, and I want to encourage you. Dax Leone is a great ambassador for our school system. And I talk with people throughout the community, of course. And sometimes they're upset with our school system. They could do this, or they should do that, or I think this, or I think that. And honestly, 9 out of 10 topics that come up, the people who are bringing them up are just flat wrong. The information is just not the right information. And I encourage, and I know that Dax Leone would encourage this as well, if you have any questions about our school system, give this young man a call and leave a message with your question. And Dax, you'll get back to him, won't you?
Yeah, no, I think, we're both products of Shawnee High School, and I see it all across the community, and we have a lot to offer. I think our kids are really special. We have an unbelievable staff. I say that all the time, like our teachers, all the way down to our elementary school, our principals, obviously our leadership at the top. But if you just look at our coaches right now at the high school, from Coach L to, Coach McCune and Wendy and Madonna and Schaefer and, Bob and Val, and I could go on. I'm probably going to leave some out, but I just think that people need to understand Shawnee High School has produced so many great citizens, fathers, wives, husbands. I know what it's done. Look, Creed Humphrey, he's a Shawnee High School graduate, and I just feel like we have so much to offer that maybe people don't know, from our academics to our robotics to everything else that Dr. Espol, Dr. Wilkerson, and all of our board has in place. So yeah, if you have any questions, anybody has any questions, I'm a busy man. My phone won't quit ringing. But I am here to promote our kids. I'm here to promote our coaches. And I'm 100% proud to be a Shawnee Wolf.
Well, and I just ran into Russ Oliver, another Shawnee High School graduate. Right. And I give a shout out to him. He's gone through a little bit of trouble, but now they come back and they serve. He's a great example now on our school board. Give a shout out to Russ. He's be a wonderful ambassador to tell you the good things that are happening.
Youth sports wouldn't be where they're at in Shawnee without Russ Oliver. Russ Oliver and Darren Green for the last 15 years, maybe longer. I might be selling them short. Those guys have put in hour after hour for our youth sports. They don't get paid for it. They do it out of the goodness of their heart. So our youth sports with Russ and Darren, what they've done for this community. And I know my own son starting first grade football, 8 years ago, and Russ was there.
So did Creed Humphrey.
Yeah. So
I remember third grade football with Creed Humphrey.
No, just a bunch of great people. Our president of our board, Cliff Hard, Shawnee High School graduate, played on the 99 graduate, played for Schaefer, played for Boyer, played for Coach Flug. So
well, and we'd be amiss not to mention Darian Gordon. 3-time Super Bowl participant, 2-time Super Bowl winner.
Yeah.
There's so many different products that have come out.
No, absolutely.
And we're looking forward to be able to highlight some of those as well, just off the cuff. I want to let you know that it's going to be fun to be able to tell some of the stories of Shawnee High School graduates.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, we're proud of what we're doing. Our brand's really important. It's very important to me and Julia and what we're doing. So, yeah, just come out, watch the kids, and we're looking forward to just building this thing up as much as we can.
Because Shawnee, all of us, together, we build community one season at a time. Thank you for tuning in to the Dax Leone Shawnee High School Athletics Coaches Show. Dax, as always, appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
We will see you again soon.
Yep. Go Wolves.
Go Wolves.